Hey there. So it is Black History Month. Happy Black History Month. I am so excited. Our new issue of Speakers Magazine is out. Talking about Get Out There, Get Known. This is Reparations on Fire by Nkechi Taifa. She also has other books as well. Black Power, Black Lawyer. I don't have that one down there. But I will say a quick little thing before we get into the podcast. Some of the books to get, classic books to get. This particular book is called Soul Food. So those who are on the podcast can see it's called Soul Food. It's by Robert L. Wallace. I believe he's out of Baltimore. And he talks about 52 principles for Black entrepreneurial success. Okay. This book, I'm a bookie, right? So this book is so good. I interviewed him last year, came out in 2000. Okay, so 22 years old. That is a particular really, really good to get. He is an accomplished engineer, entrepreneur, author, business consultant. But that's not who we have today. This book right here is up to date. Fix Your Business by Melinda. I'm highlighting Black authors, right? So I love Black authors and Black speakers. Melinda Emerson, her book, Fix Your Business, really, really good book to take. A 90-day plan to get back your life and reduce chaos in your business. So this book, Fix Your Business, all these are on Amazon. I can put the links down here in the show notes. Reparations on Fire. I'll put the notes down here. Nkechi Taifa. Go to speakersmagazine.com. You'll read all her cover story. There is a book that I really, really love, and this is an old classic, but it's called 25 Habits of Successful Women by Dr. Stacia Pierce. I got all of my notes in it. It's a book that you can read and you need to reread often. It's about habits, how to visualize your best possible outcome, how to master maturity, how to connect with purpose partners, how to be informed on a higher level, how to be a finisher in life. What does all that have to do with Get Out There, Get Known? Because you need to have a continual personal development program for your life and for your business. And so today we're going to talk about someone who combines her ministry and her business, Alegra Hall. And she's going to talk about PR. She used to work as a producer for CBN. She's a journalist. She knows all things media. And we're going to just chop it up and talk about what does it really, really take to get media publicity? What does it really, really take from you? Who do you have to become in order to get media publicity? So that's what we're going to talk about right after this.
Welcome to the Get Out There and Get Known podcast. Join Pam Perry, veteran PR strategist, Emmy award-winning producer and publisher of Speakers Magazine, who will show you how to crack the code in getting out there to get known. Each week, she either interviews her media friends, PR colleagues, or she just goes solo, offering you strategies on publicity, publishing, and platform building. So listen up to hear how to get booked on media places and on superstar stages. Now, here's your host, Pam Perry.
Well, I'm so excited because I've got my business bestie on here, right? So Alegra Hall, let me tell you a little bit about her. I don't want to read the bio when she's like on stage with me, right? Because she'll be embarrassed. But let me just tell you a little bit about her. Alegra Hall is a leader in the media landscape. She is the founder of My Media Buzz, and that's what we're going to be talking about, how you can get buzz. Alegra has excelled as a television producer, like I said, for over a decade. Lovingly known as Lady A and the producer, she's worked 14 years as a talent producer, guest producer, web content writer, and interviewer for CBN News to bring the good news to daily newscasts. Working behind the scenes on this national platform, Alegra interviewed and vetted world changers on Capitol Hill and in local churches. She completed a master's degree from Regent University with a BS from Pennsylvania State University, and a 5-foot-tall mocha beauty uses her media, marketing, and business and ministry background to impact the marketplace. Alegra's MMB team of professionals completed hundreds of episodes of The Harry Jackson Show. He's out of the DMV area, The Hope Connection, Living by Faith, and more. The National Press Club member with a solid goal, Rolodex, work on projects and mega ministries with media giants like TBN and Daystar. A sought-after speaker, Alegra has been featured on Midday Maryland, Major TV, and Ventures TV Network. A former New Jersey girl who is the co-inventor of Clean Cart Cover by I Push Pure, Alegra is a prolific writer who boasts hundreds of 5-star reviews, and her writing clients include NFL players, trend-setting fashion designers, Carol's daughter, and growing tech giants. As a producer and storyteller, She's interviewed world changers like legendary news anchor Juan Williams, best-selling author Sarah Jakes, and many more. She's a proud member of the National Press Club, and she also is a brand new member of the Bow Collective.
Yay!
So congratulations, because I know that Bow Collective thing is brand new. So I saw that. I was like, okay, you don't have on your green. Do you have on green?
No, not today. I'm in there.
Okay, you got to get in that green. You know what I'm saying?
Green all the time because it's about that.
It's about that green. I was like, the Bow Collective. I was like, okay, so there we go. So shout out to Nick Colbert, because she's the founder of all that kind of stuff. So Alegra, thank you so much for joining us today. I mean, one of the things that I really, really love about you, and just a backstory how we met, my company, Ministry Marketing Solution, was working with many, many Christian authors and speakers, and I pitched you all the time. I pitched you from the well-known to the unknown, right? And you were always so gracious, and we put on Joanne Ward on. I remember we had one of those episodes with Joanne Ward. She was doing faith and fitness, and you brought her on. But tell us how you shape stories so that they fit the platform for television, because everybody's goal is like, I want to be on the TV. So how do you shape the stories, and how do you make it relevant, and so that regular people can understand what you're looking for?
So, you know what? First of all, Pam, can I say this? I love your theme music. And I love that intro. I was getting excited. I'm thinking, who's the voiceover? That voice was really saying something.
That is my husband.
Oh, really? Hi, Mark. He did a great job.
This voiceover giant in his head, right? But I do my podcast, okay? How about we do that?
Well, tell him I loved it.
Good.
To answer your question, well, so many people want to be on TV, but not everyone is really made for TV. I mean, you know that. Some things are better for print. Some people are better for podcasts. Oh, Dr. Hi, Dr. Crawford, I see you. I've got to get your book, by the way. I just saw that pop up. But what I will say is, I tell people all the time, it has to be timely. I think that's beyond anything. You can have an incredible story. I mean, something that'll bring people to tears. Your story is going to make people stand on their feet and clap and shout. However, if it's not in the right time, then the news won't pick it up. And It's not that journalists don't think it's good. It's just that there's a cycle, there's a flow, there's a behind the stage choreographing going on all the time. And so it has to fit in that stream. If it doesn't flow with what's happening right now in the world, no one's going to touch it. And you'll say, I spent all this time. I spent all this money. I've been pushing it out. I've been distributing it. But it's not that it's not good or worthy or newsworthy. It's just timing.
That is really key. So what Alegra is saying is that you have to have a nose for news. You don't have to be a news junkie, like go to bed, sun up to sundown, you're MSNBC, CNN, and watching all the news channels. But you do have to know the cycles of the news, because that's really, really key. Give you an example of every month there's a particular theme that most stations kind of go by. January, people, they're thinking of New Year goals and that kind of thing. And then MLK is in January. So, stories around that. February, maybe it's Valentine's Day. If you got a book about love and relationships, Black History Month. This is kind of like Black people are, March is Women's Month and some other things. And then there's also diseases that are particular months. I mean, you can go to a calendar and know generally what's going on, but you have to know what is news now. So a lot of times when you see people on like the major platforms of the major news stations, they bring on experts that are talking about a topic in the news because they want their opinion of it. And you have to know what's going on. If they're talking about Israel, then if you have a book that has to do with that, if you're talking about police brutality, you have a book about that, then you need to really offer up in the form what the news likes, in the form of a media release or a media alert, to let them know that you're available to speak on the topic that's in the news cycle. News. Yes. It's like so important. And so some people, it's like, I don't even watch the news. Well, how are you going to be on the news if you don't even watch it? Okay. It's like you've got to watch and you've got to know, sometimes you have to know, like, so one of the things, we work together on some things. So we'll say, well, who's the local newspaper in your town? I'm not saying like who is the publisher or who is the writer, but what is the name of the newspaper in your town? And they don't even know.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, every, let's go through, like every local market,
every gazette,
every gazette, they have dailies, they have weeklies, they have community shows,
that's right,
they have news shows, they've got morning shows,
yep.
And then we've got this whole thing of OTT. Then there's Fox Soul, there's Connected TV, there's so many different outlets. And so where is your audience? Where is your audience? And what is it that you're going to share out so that it gets the news's attention, the producer's attention, the editor's attention, the writer's attention? Let's talk about how you made the transition, I guess you would say, from, working as a producer for 14 years for a TV network, national TV network, to where you are now.
Well, actually, it was gradual, but what ended up happening, if I can say this, you asked my story, so I'm going to tell the truth. What happened was I actually was praying about it. For all of your listeners who believe in prayer, it really does work, because I enjoyed, while I was there as a guest producer for so many years, and I was bringing in all kinds of politicians and missionaries and anybody from billionaires, literally billionaires, coming in for conversations, to your regular everyday person who's got a book that just touches our heart, and we were bringing them in. And people kept saying to me, Alegra, how do I get on TV? Can you call me later? Can you produce me personally? And I was like, I didn't even know that was a job. I thought you had to work for a studio. And so I started taking clients. And then also at the same time, I felt like it was time to go home and work from home. So I pitched my then incredible boss, could I work from home, work virtually? Because that was before it was called virtually.
Yep, right. That's ahead of your time, right?
And he says, yeah, do it, Alegra. And he said, let's try it out and see how it works. And I was actually more productive working in my home office than I was in the studio. And I came in, when necessary. But that being said, my clientele just started growing. And then, of course, I became married and have a little kid. So, that balance. And now through pandemic, everybody knows you can do it. You can work virtually. Yeah. So that's how the transition happened for me. But there were so many ministries that I came across who were saying, why can't I get on TV? I said, what do you want to talk about? Well, we're having a bake sale on Friday and for the missionaries. And I think they should put that on the news. And I'm like, no, it's not newsworthy. Is there something in particular? Is there something, specific? And, it was just starting to talk to them about how to create and how to craft their story to make it impactful, and also to get more eyes on it, not just their congregations.
Right. To give them more media buzz, which is really the name of it. They want buzz. My Media Buzz. I'm
actually mymediabuzztv.com. That's
okay. So let me change that. My Media Buzz.
See, this is what happens in live TV. Things happen all the time. You have to be flexible.
So that's it. So it's My Media Buzz TV.
That's me.
That's you. Because the key word is TV, because that's where really the background of really where your love is and all that kind of thing. So that's where myMediaBuzzTV.com. But then also too, we do more than TV, right? So we do press releases. So kind of talk a little bit about the press release. And people say, well, the press releases are dead. No, they're not dead. They just change. Kind of talk a little bit about that and what that does for people, and give us some examples, because I know you did one for Carol's daughter. You did a few people, because I just did some things with you. So tell us about some of the media releases and where they landed, because if you don't have that first, you may not land at the other places.
Yeah, so whoever's saying press releases are dead, they don't understand what goes on behind the scenes, right? That's part of how journalists get their information. I mean, they don't sit around like, Johnny Carson days, the great Carnac, right? What's happening next? No.
Yeah, I wonder, let me go out on the street like Clark Kent and just be a roving reporter and try to figure out what's news. No, we need to be pitched. They need to be pitched. They're too busy. They got to do 1 million stories in a week. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Absolutely. That 24/7 news cycle changed everything, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So there aren't any weekends, right? There aren't any days off. There aren't even evenings. These guys work all the time. So our job is to take your story and push it down, smush it right into 300, 400, 500, 600 words. Some people want to write 2,000 word press releases. Nobody's reading that.
No.
Okay, they just don't have the time for it. It's not that it's not important or good. It's about time again. It's time.
Mm-hmm.
So what we do is we create and craft them, and we take the top, most interesting points and the most timely points, and make the pitch, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And send it out. And so sometimes some of my clients have literally lists and lists of degrees and certifications that they're not. This is not the platform for that. We're going to take the top 3 most important and how it connects to the story, and then send it out. But journalists, they need help just like anyone else. So press releases aren't done. I can also tell you that fax machines are still, if you believe that, people are still receiving faxes.
Oh my God.
Yes, especially even in your local, your local gazettes and.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
And some of the local, you'd be surprised, the affiliates are still receiving faxes. Why? The digital faxes, but also the regular fax machine, because it's a mode of information, and people are still using it. So
and people use the wire. They call it on the news wire and that sort of thing. And I remember my first PR job, really full as a PR director of the Salvation Army, and we did fax blast. So we would do it was like the new technology, right? You put in one number and it'll go to all the, oh my God, it was like crazy. But then the wire, the PR news wire came very like the thing that people would do. They put one press release on the wire, and then the wire would send it out to the journalists. And that's a really, really good way to get the publicity out. Also, too, you could hire a publicist, like myself or Alegra, and then from our contacts, we send it out as well. And we both use something called Cision. And Cision is its own beast. There's a lot of different types of media, I guess you would say media tools that we use, but it's basically it's a database of the media. But we don't go into Cision or whatever it is, it's Muckrack or whatever, and hit select all and send one release to everybody. That's one way to get blacklisted. So it's like, why is he sending me stuff that has to do with, I don't know, reparations, and I'm a health writer. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, you gotta make sense. It's kind of like what Stacey Crawford says. She says people miss so many media opportunities just because they're not watching the news. You must watch it.
Yes.
The reason why you need to watch it is you know who to pitch what and what their beat is, so to speak, or what is their interest or what it is that they like. And that's so important. I mean, you're pitching the media, but you're also pitching people. So you want to know what is their hot buttons and what are the things that they like. And the overall thing, the main thing of how to help yourself get publicity is to think of yourself not as a person who wants to be seen. Obviously, the show is called Get Out There, Get Known, but how can you be a help to the audience that the media works for?
Now you said something, Pam.
That's it.
Dr. Pam, now you said something.
How can you be a help to somebody else? Yes, basically. And they do. They want personalized pitches. They want personalized pitches. If you're pitching to Forbes and you see someone is writing on a particular topic, and me and Alegra, we passed it out before, say, oh, they've written on this before, they've written on that, then they may also like our client who has the same type of thing. Because when you think about it, a reporter, when they're writing a story, they're gathering so much information. And so then they gather all this information, they have it all in their head. Now they write the story and they're kind of done with it. But if they get a pitch that kind of continues the story, that means all the research that they've done, they can still kind of use it and recycle it. So it's making their job easier. That's the whole point. Yes.
Well, you hear them say all the time, the reporters, how do I move the story ahead? Right? How do I, what's the next leg of it? What's the next, can I expand it? And if you're an expert, like think about what's happening in the world today, obviously this horrible funeral that's happening today. We all know about, what's going on in the world. And if you are an expert on mental health, this would be a great time to pitch it and say, look, we're talking about the number of guns that are going on in America, but what we're not talking about is how that is a ripple effect for our children. People just thinking about going to the grocery store. How is this affecting like Instacart, and all those guys are making billions of dollars because people are afraid to go, shopping. And so you can come on and grow that story. Right? As a psychologist, as a mental health professional, and say, I'm here to help America heal.
That
but
is
if you're not watching the news, you don't know about that.
Right. You don't know to come on and talk about trauma, because it could be traumatizing for people to have watched the video. I personally did not watch the video. I knew it was going to be horrific. Obviously, he died. So I didn't watch it. But some people who did watch it, maybe they're traumatized. And it could be someone who is a mental health professional can come on different shows, and like, well, what show? Everybody wants to go to the top shows, but there's other shows in between. There's podcasts, there is with quick media coverage, there's so many different outlets that people can go on as well. There's US Times, US Reporter. I mean, so you got to find the right place to put your story, and put it in enough places often enough. And so that leads to the fact. So we have a client maybe that has been in the Music Observer. Okay, so they're on the Music Observer. They got this CD and and they're trying to, So what can a person do to amplify, to get out there and get known once they do get some media coverage, or once they do have a press release? How can they amplify the message so they're not, I don't want to say lack of a word, they're not depending on the publicist to just push all the buttons for them, right? Like we don't have a magic wand all the time. It's like, okay, we got the magic wand, everything's gonna happen for you. It's like, no, boo, you got to do something. So what is it that they can do to push their story out on their end, besides the obvious? Well, maybe that's obvious, but give me some tips, and I'll add mine as well, how they can continue their own story and push it out.
Well, I think the first and foremost, they need to take what you've already created and push it out on their own personal platforms. I mean, it just seems such a simple thing to do, but a lot of people don't. And they may even have their own email lists, right? And like either refuse or forget. Like, I have this gold, because it really is gold that you have this email list, and you don't even know who's on there, who can be connected and connected and connected. So
they may not have seen the story. They may not have seen the print. They may not have seen the radio or heard the podcast or saw the article. So you got to let them know. And then it's, well, I think they probably saw it. Send it to them again. Maybe they didn't read it. Maybe they just saw the headline. I was like, you can tell some. I know you got to tell me something more than once. So
people are busy. They're so busy, right? They, send it to them. Let people know. You have to be your own advocate. As with anything else, whether it's your health or anything, you have to be your own advocate. So you can pay someone thousands of dollars, a month, tens of thousands of dollars if you want to, for some people. And that's great. Publicists, yay, we'll take the money, but you also have to
be your own.
That's
your own advocate. You have to share it. Like Alegra said, you share it on your own platform, share it on your own social media, screenshot it. I had a client one time that did a TikTok with her particular as a green screen in the background, the article in the background, and she came out dancing. I was like, oh my God. And you can put in your email signature, email every day.
Absolutely.
When you hit reply, it's like,
so good.
Yeah, it could be something like, latest news, and then they click it and they read your story. You're emailing probably 50, 60 emails a day. So, they're going to have to see that news. They obviously, we tweet, a lot of people aren't on Twitter, but I will say that the media is on Twitter. Some people say, well, I'm just on Facebook and I'm just on Instagram. Go on Twitter, put your story out on Twitter. Now, I will say, Alegra, that I have seen people at the media and like at Today's Show and then put their story link. Don't do that. And so then I go to their timeline. It's like 60 or 70 different apps to the media outlet. Don't spam. Okay. And we're not saying spam, but the ones that are interested, you can maybe add them or something like that. I'm thinking like Roland Martin show, right? Whatever. So maybe he didn't see the particular story. So at Roland Martin, put that one link and say, hey, you may be interested in that. And then he'll click on that link because he'll see it publicly on Twitter.
Yes.
Okay, he'll see it publicly on Twitter. Now, don't add everybody because then Roland's like, well, he's just spamming everybody. So don't do that. But one of the things that I think people don't do is the email list for sure. Also making sure that when you are emailing people, put that in there in all your social media, making sure that, but also text the link. Okay, everybody's on email, right? Everybody's on email. Everybody's on social media, but also everybody is on their phone.
All day.
Take the link and text it to, I don't know, your 5 favorite people, right? Your five fave. Yeah. And then ask them to post it on their social media. Okay, that's just simple to do. It's not like you're asking them to give you money. We're just asking you to post this link about my new news story on their social media. And I always say, it's just a text link, and all they have to do is hit it. The story can be shareable. So share everything in terms of put it regular part of your content, and don't just share it once.
Yeah.
Don't share it once. Share it like 2 or 3 times. Like you have one piece of content, maybe you shared it once on Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever. I mean, TikTok. Share it more than once. Put it in your regular cycle of your content. Is really, really important. So I want people to know that they have to share the content.
Can I add something, Dr. Pam?
Yeah.
Which is that now, once they do that, please go back and respond when people give you comments. Right?
Yes. Because oh my God.
People expect in this day and age, they want to engage. And if someone takes the time to go beyond clicking and reading it, then they go beyond just giving you a thumbs up or a smiley face, and they actually take the time to type something to you, you need to respond to that person. Yes, because they actually want to engage. So you don't know how that can connect you to the next and the next and the next. So engagement is key.
Engagement is key. And then I always say, don't post and ghost, right? Don't post and ghost. You're going to make sure that you do things. I mean, something as simple as screenshotting the article. Okay. Screenshot the article, right? Besides the link, you can also screenshot it. You can put it on your website. Now you have a logo. Put that logo on your speaker sheet, on your press kit, because that's what it is. It's part of press. You obviously want to send it to clients, send it to prospects, right? Just like, hey, I know we haven't talked in a while. This recently came out in the U.S. Times, or it just recently came out in America's Charts of Business. Want to send it to you. I mean, that's just a way to tell your story. Obviously, if you have a newsletter of some sort, and then you can even do like a screenshot of it with a voiceover and put that up as a TikTok. That's another way. You don't have to dance on everything, but you could do.
Apparently, Mark Perry is available
to do a voiceover of the screenshot, right? But it's one of those things where you could be creative with it because different people like to see it in different ways.
Yes, they do.
And so, making sure that you're putting those logos into your press kit, into your media kit, so that people will know that you had that press. And so it's just leveraging it. And so once you get the publicity, please make sure you leverage it, because not everybody's going to see it. We know your favorite people saw it, but then there's a whole lot of other people. Your perspective, the whole point of PR is really to help get you more customers and clients. So you want to send it to prospective customers and clients. It's not like you're shouting about yourself. You're sending them your website. You're sending a story that has been written about you.
Yes.
So that will be good. You don't want to send the press release per se. You want to wait till the press release has been picked up and then send them that story.
That's it. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
Don't send them the press release.
No, they're not going to, the person's not going to realize that it's actually your press release that's being reprinted.
Yes, right. But they won't know that, but you want it on the actual news site.
Yes, that's right. You want it on the news site.
Cool. Well, one of the things that Dr. Crawford said, journalists want a personalized pitch. As much as you can, personalize everything. I know it takes more work, but that's why they hire people like us, right? Because it is work, but personalized pitches really help, because now We know that you're not just doing a blast, that you're really going to one particular writer who has one particular beat, and you're talking
Yes.
about this one particular story angle. And if they say no, not now, then find out, look at what they're producing or what kind of stories you're doing, and then do something a few weeks later. Just keep coming back with a new idea, new segment idea, a new story idea. Just because they say no to one, it's up to you. It's kind of like what you said, like watching the news, knowing the news cycles, and coming back. Because they're always, this part of their job. This part of their job. So we want to make sure that we're making their job easier by giving them good ideas. Don't flood their email boxes with garbage. You could talk about that. How many pitches did you get in a week when you were producing?
Oh my gosh. I honestly, when I would come to work, and I'd come to work at like 5 a.m, and my email box would already be filled. You'd have like 40, 50 emails just waiting to open up. And again, not to mention all the books that came in the mail and unrequested, or packages, or people would send their CDs, or just mail me their press kits, so I would, every single day there was stuff piled on my chair, stuff piled in my box, and then of course my email box just full of stuff.
So you've got to know how to cut through the clutter of all of this, so you can see that they're getting tons of stuff. So how do you cut through the clutter? And so part of it is starting with a little bit of media, keep moving it, keep leveraging it, keep moving it. The more you get, keep on a regular basis doing press releases, it's going to bubble up, because they're going to Google you. It's like, this person is always coming back sending me a pitch. Well, let me Google them.
That's exactly.
If they don't see anything new, it's like, well, I need to see some movement on their end. So you want to make sure that you're always getting some kind of media hits, whether you get in Speakers Magazine, something. So this is one of the ones. This is not the February one, but I have them all over the place. But that's one of the things where people can just keep moving the needle about your story. It has to be a story. That's a whole nother day, but a whole nother time. Well, thank you so much, Alegra. This has been great. So I want people to know that they can reach you, particularly at mymediabuzztv.com.
That's
right. And that is one of the things too. And probably the fact that OTT is so big, and the whole Roku, Amazon Fire, you can help people get their shows together.
Oh, yes.
Get their shows together. And that's one of the things that people can contact you about: writing their scripts, helping them with all the other things about putting together a TV show. So make sure that you reach out to her for that, because she knows what she's doing. She's been doing it for over a decade or so. So she knows media, and media can help you get buzz on TV. So that's one of the things. I love that. I love that name of that thing. So thank you so much for joining us today on Get Out There, Get Known podcast. This has been really good. I knew it would be. Because we had so much to talk about. And congratulations again on the Bold Collective.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to be a really, really cool. Tell people really quick what it is.
So, the Bold Collective is a group of African-American businesswomen that come together to help one another, and to open up the doors that have been closed for so long. So I was just excited to be accepted as a member. I mean, these are serious businesswomen, and they're...
He's one of them.
Yeah, yes.
My friend Melinda, she's one, and now also too, Nicole Roberts-Jones, she's one as well. She's a Bold sister as well. I don't have her, but so there's some, and Dee Marshall, she's also a one as well. She was on Speakers Magazine as well. So you're in good company, and there are a lot of them are in DMV, but they're spreading out as well. Good. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, and I look forward to working with you again and some more and some other stuff, and have you back, and we'll talk about storytelling and that kind of thing.
Oh, good. I'd love to come back anytime, Dr. Pam.
All righty. Thanks a lot. Talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
I'm Pam Perry, and I'm out.
You've been listening to the Get Out There and Get Known podcast, brought to you by PamPerryPR.com, where you'll get insider tips on how to build your platform, pitch the media, and promote yourself with confidence. Head over to PamPerryPR.com and get the exclusive video training on the 7 must-have marketing materials you need before you pitch in order to be considered in media places or superstar stages. PamPerryPR.com.